Some people are interested in this stuff long term. Hang on a second. There's something I want to show here. Yeah, here we go. Here's a perfect example. I'm going to go show something here. This is a glimpse into the analytics here. So, as an example, this video right here, this is a good video. Best solo class for new players in Star Wars: The Old Republic 2025 edition. That's a perfect example of a video. And somewhere in here is my Ultimate Beginner's Guide to Cyberpunk 2077. So a better one would be to look at this one. So this video I did, let's go look at the analytics for this video. This video, every single day, this video is in my top performing videos across YouTube. Every single day. It's done 100,000, 102,000 views. It's garnered me almost 800 subscribers. It's made me about $630, right, over time. And this is the just from day one, this video consistently produces results. And it published on September 27th of last year? Oh no, we're well beyond a year. We're a year and we're almost 2 years into this video. We're a year, and so this is 2 years, almost 2 years ago, this video. So when you build up a big enough library on YouTube, this is why I don't play the whole be first at something game. It's nice to be first, and you can get big traffic with first videos. But oftentimes those first videos are one and done. So I'm more interested in this right here. This is what I am working on. So my whole objective with YouTube is I'm building up a massive library. So when I get people who are like, "Oh, that last video you did only got 200 views," and it's like 3 days later, I'm like, it doesn't matter what it got in 2 days or 3 days or 1 day. What matters is what does it do over the course of 2 years? And all I do is I just sit here every single day, day in and day out, and I just throw videos into the algorithm. I do guides, I do discussion videos, it doesn't matter. I just fill the library with videos because every single one of those videos makes me money. It might be 10 cents, it might be $10, it might be $100. It doesn't matter. It all adds up at the end of the day. So that whole a penny saved is a penny earned, that's my mentality on YouTube. But that's a good example is this one. And then like I did the there's another one in here. Hang on. This one. This is a recent one. This got published in January. So this one's done 50,000 views in like 4 months. I guess we're in June, right? Almost in June, so in 6 months. You know, but considering, and if you look at this one, it was slow and steady, and then all of a sudden, about a month ago, it ramped up, and it's done like 10,000 views in a month. So it was very slow and steady, and then it has had a really nice ramp up in May. So this will probably be another one that does 100 to 150,000 views over time. So I've got another one. The original edition I did of this, matter of fact, I can probably plug it in and see. Best solo class. Yeah, this is the original version that I did in 2023. And this one had a so when it tapered off, when it started tapering off, I was like, I'm gonna make a new version of that. And the new version is performing better than the old version did. But this one still gets views. It's just slowed down a lot, and it's not in like the daily. Anyway, that's the point I was making about like With Dune Awakening, I've already got 100 videos in my playlist. And so as I add another 100 videos over the course of the summer, the algorithm detects that I am an expert on that topic, and so it starts recommending my videos. It's already recommending my videos. My Dune Awakening videos are doing pretty good. They're all trending upwards. And as the game goes live, those 100 videos I've already done get pushed even higher in the algorithm. So it was a risk on my part to spend so much time playing something that was offline. But because it's an on, that's the difference. I knew going into it because it's an online live service game, the long-term results of those videos are way more than, say, if I got access to like Hogwarts Legacy 2 is coming in 6 months and I get early access to that game. That's awesome. People aren't going to be playing Hogwarts Legacy in the same way that they play Dune Awakening. Like, Dune Awakening is an online live service game, and Hogwarts Legacy is a um, single player game that people will play very hard and heavy for a month, and then they move off to other things. No, the pay on long-term videos is different than the pay on short-term videos. Like, because virality is a thing. So if you get a video that's going super viral over the course of like 24 to 48, 72 hours or whatever, the pay can be higher on those ones, but only because if it's a hot topic and it's happening during a time period when the advertisers are paying more, you can make more money on those videos, but not necessarily, because everything is tied to watch time and completion time. So how long are people watching the video for? How much of that video are they completing? Are they interacting with the video? Are they clicking on things underneath the video in the description text? Are they commenting on the video after they finish watching it? Those are all factors in how much you get paid, not necessarily whether it's a current video or a long-term video. Which is why I say I don't worry about it too much. As long as my bills get met every month, I just wake up and plug away at it, and every day is a new day. Oh shit, he's immune? What is he immune? Oh, he's immune to the burn effect I have on my bow. Shit, I'm stuck in the environment. Okay. What the? What just hit me? That's a swarm. I hate these fuckers. You can't see them. I don't know if they're missing visuals or what's going on, but I can't see the swarms. Man, the vegetation here is killing my performance. I know they added a vegetation slider now. Oh yeah, that's much better. That's a noticeable difference. Hang on, something else is seeing me here. God damn it, these swarms. I wish I could see them, but there's like like they don't have a visual. This is what I would call a bug. A bug against a bug, because these are meant to be a swarm of like some sort of. I can hear them, but I can't see them. You can even see them on the map. There they go. There's a tiny little fleck of the blacks, but they're missing a lot of the VFX of those bug swarms. Alright. Take the trophy. I will say though, at the end of the day, long term, I am looking forward to being able to have like a place where I can have like, I would love to be in a place that Chris and I could consider our forever home. Because sometimes it's like, I would love to be able to have things that I hang on the wall and collector's editions and stuff, but I'm not willing to do those at the moment because if we end up, which is what we're planning, which is moving somewhere else for the long-term location, I don't want to have a bunch of shit to move because that's a pain in the ass. Like we moved cross-country to this place, and that was a nightmare. It was a nightmare, and we didn't have that much to move because we still had, stuff, but we didn't have furniture because we rented we had a fully furnished apartment in the city. So it was just we moved, we were moving all of our kitchen stuff, like electric oven, washing machine, all of our electronics and TVs and computers and clothing, and it was still we still had to get a moving vehicle, a moving company, and Chris went ahead with the moving company while I stayed back and kept working. And then we ended up flying out afterwards with just our laptops and stuff. And it was a nightmare. It cost us a freaking fortune. It was a nightmare working with the moving company because they were just that was just lies and half truths. Like literally, it was a thing where we paid for a small van because we didn't have we needed like a cargo van. So we're like, we just need a cargo van. So we rent a cargo van from the company, and they show up the day of the move, and I've got everything scheduled. We've got landlady coming, keys to turn in, all these different things, and they show up the day of the move with a big moving truck with like 10 other people's stuff in the truck, and at the very back of their truck is like 4 feet of space, like 4 feet deep and like 8 feet high or whatever, and they were like, okay, let's load up. And it's like, where the fuck is the van? What van? I'm like, the van I fucking paid for. And it's like, I paid you guys a lot of money and to have this private van, and now where's the van? Like, I wanted my stuff in its own thing. Because the thing is, if you get one of the big trucks like that, what they're gonna do is they're gonna take your stuff, but they're also gonna take other people's stuff along the way. And you don't know if your place is going to be the first place on the delivery list. So then if they have to go somewhere and unload somebody else's stuff before your stuff gets offloaded, and they unload everybody else's stuff and then put your stuff back. So then it's being moved, your stuff is being handled 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, more chances of damage, chances of your shit getting mixed up with other people's shit. Dude, we were not, it was not. And then we were on the phone. Chris is literally crying as she's like yelling at these people on the phone because they're like, well, there's nothing. And she's like, what do you mean there's nothing you can do? Like, we paid you guys. Like, dude, I will never use a moving company ever again after that experience. I was like, I will. The thing is, like, here you can't rent moving vans like you can in many other places. So, like, the ability to, like, go rent my own van and just do it ourselves was what I wanted to do, but no one will rent you a van. Um, they don't have vans that you can rent. So, all right, I'll be right back. I need more coffee. Um, Bought a lot in town and put in a tiny home. Yeah, also, yeah, older houses can be a pain in the ass. I mean, technically, we have a tiny home. It's a very small place. Our place is not big. Yeah, that's the thing where we live, Transit. Moving vans are not a thing here. So in the U.S., as an example, um, you can rent, like, there's a company called U-Haul. So you can go rent these various sized vehicles or trailers and just move everything. And so I had always been able to just do that. So here, not being able to just go rent a van was like, wait, what? I can't rent a van? And so, believe me, I got real creative before we got the moving company. I was looking online. I was like, well, I could rent a Suburban and like fold all the chairs down. And like, I was literally like online, like checking the dimensions with a tape measure. I had gone and taken a tape measure and measured all of our boxes and everything. And I was online looking at the cargo dimensions of like a Suburban. If I folded all the seats down, can I get all my stuff in a Suburban because this rental company has a Suburban that I can rent? It's like, can I get the washing machine and all this other stuff in there? Like, can I do it that way? And then it was just like, then we're going to have to make 2 trips. And then it's like, okay, it's not necessarily a cost thing, but the idea of driving, you know, 12 to 14 hours, and then I got to drive another 12 to 14 hours back, and then drive another 12 to 14 hours and then bring the vehicle back and then fly back. And that was going to be this week-long nightmare of a process. So at the end of the day, I was like, I'll just pay a moving company. In retrospect, I would have much rather have just done the thing where I rent the Suburban, make 2 trips, and move our shit ourselves. It would have been way less stressful. Yes, I would have had to spend a lot of time driving a vehicle, which is not that big of a deal. It would have been way less stress because moving was not. Neither one of us had a good experience with the moving company. They charged us an arm and a leg, and then they didn't deliver what they said they were going to deliver. The one good thing I will say is that the stuff all got here, um, and nothing was broken. So, but yeah, did not get what I paid for.
I've been waiting for you.
But yeah, if you're a single person, like you don't need that much space. Even a couple, like we don't have kids, so we don't need that much space. Like, if anybody's ever watched our Homestead channel, I've done a walkthrough of this home. It's not big. I have this office, which is probably 10 feet wide by 10 feet deep. It's not a very big office. Um, then there's a kitchen. The bathroom is right behind me. There's a corridor. There's another little room, which is supposed to be the dining area, which is like 8 foot by 10 foot. And then there's a living room, which we use as our master bedroom, which is where we have our king size bed. Um, because of liability issues, Sherrard. Because people rent those vehicles and just steal them and never bring them back. So it's a liability issue.
I knew you'd succeed. Fire and bone do not lie. There's no time left, child. The horned god is tearing Gudri's body apart.
Hector
And
says
his
moving companies over
fury
here are generally
fills
okay
the
with everything
air.
from small vans to big
Soon,
trucks.
his
Nice.
essence will break loose and devour everything in its path. I must begin the ritual. But I fear he may be too blinded by rage and pain to see the first trophy as anything more than
Ladder trucks,
bone
says Queen Blueface in
and
Korea.
memory.
Never heard of ladder trucks.
Your path leads to the unrealm of the hunt.
Guarantee this is going to be a
There,
arrow
you'll
sponge
face
fight.
if you can weaken. Oh, child, we both know you're not entirely human. Your second soul will guide you where others lose their way and perish. I understand. He's the chieftain after all. But be wary of his words. If you need to, but remember, you're not going. That's when the trophy will speak. Take care.
But anyway, that goes back to what I was saying earlier. I'm not hugely motivated to even have a bunch of collector's edition stuff in this house because of that reason. It's not just about like the fact that we don't have a storage space for like collectibles. It's just like the idea of needing to move all of those collectibles when we get our next place is just that I don't want to. The less stuff I have to move, the better. Like we've already talked about, like whenever we do that transition, everything that's in this house stays in this house. Like we're not taking anything from this house to that house. So this place will be whatever furnishings are here will stay here, and then we will just furnish the other place completely from scratch. Like That's how much we don't want to have to to move stuff. So, another perfect example, my phone just dinged at me, and I get like 30 to 50 of these a day. Some random game developer sends me a link. Hi, I'm a solo game dev, and I just released a demo of my game. Blah, 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 blah. Please give me coverage. For those of you who are channel members on YouTube who watched the agency video, where I was talking about the agency that reached out and was like, "We can get you free games." And I'm like, "Dude, I get offers for free games every single day. You gotta give me more. Like, what are you really offering?" Like, oh, JK, yeah, for years and this is not Christina's fault. It's the context of before I met Chris and settled down, I was living out of a backpack as a travel photographer, travel writer. So I literally had, and I still have it, it's in storage. I have a 30-liter backpack, a 30-liter travel backpack with a rain protection and everything else, and then a laptop bag with a camera inside of it. So, laptop slash camera bag and a backpack for my shit. That was it. Two bags. Never checking it. Never check anything at the airport. I'm carry on only every single time. I am I could be out of the apartment in less than 30 minutes. Probably 10 minutes if I was in a hurry, and it was just like, "Oh, I'm off to the next destination. Throw all my shit in the backpack, make sure my gear's stowed, and I'm off into a cab or in a train or on a bus or whatever I need to be, and I'm off to the next destination." That was my for years. And even when Chris and I traveled together, I was always she ended up getting a 35-liter backpack. So it was the both of us. We both had backpacks, and then I would carry the laptop bag and she would carry the camera bag, and that was us. That was how we traveled and did our jobs and traveled full time. And then we always rented fully furnished apartments. So you never needed, we never had stuff. But then we started accumulating stuff in Mexico City because we were no longer traveling. And it's like, well, let's buy a washing machine, let's buy a big screen TV, and let's buy an electric oven, and let's buy, a hair dryer, and let's buy, a cool lamp, and let's buy coffee mugs, and let's buy and that's it. Just shit accumulates. Stuff just starts accumulating. I hear you, Transcend. Like it, I never worried about home ownership until I got, and honestly, it was this place. My mentality was always like, it's easier to rent. I can't take it with me when I die. And I was always living in places where the cost to rent a fully furnished apartment was not that expensive. So if I'm spending 500, 600, $700 a month on a fully furnished apartment, I don't have to worry about anything. Everything's on the landlord. Like, if something breaks, the landlord fixes it. It's not my problem. Um, but when this place presented itself, it was at the height of the pandemic, and Chris and I were really tired of being in the city and not being able to go anywhere or do anything. And her mom had offered it to us like 3 or 4 times over the years, and we had never been in a position to buy it. And it was kind of like, if you don't buy it now, I'm going to sell it to someone else. And so it was like, okay, let's buy it because yeah, it's time. Well, it's a short one this morning, Hunter. I'll be gone in about an hour, so enjoy your morning. I gotta go grocery shopping today, but I will be back after that for a longer stream. But I do have to We're doing a short quickie in the morning, and then we're going to come back after I finish up grocery shopping and stuff. Go to breakfast with my wife, have a nice, relaxing morning.
Maybe he can, but so what?
Furnished rentals aren't a thing
Goodry
there.
won't survive the
They weren't
process
really a
either
thing back
way.
in the U.S. either.
Besides, if you ask
And if
me,
they
it was
were, they charge you
foolish
an
of
arm
my
and a leg.
ancestors to bring that god here. They didn't know what they were doing or what the consequences would be. And now we, their descendants, are the ones left to deal with it. If they'd known what would happen, I'm sure they'd have left him back in the homelands. We need to get rid of that damn thing once and for all. I won't let my people live in fear anymore. Goodry must die, and when he does, the Stagfather will show himself. That's when we'll strike and kill him.
Do you really want to test your strength against a god? Glenna claims that with a Stagfather, this venture will lose its identity.
It's true. We pride ourselves on being the best hunters in the land. And at the root of that pride lies the horned god and the supposed grace he once gave us. But if the old god failed us, we'll find ourselves a new one. At least those who feel the need to can. I'm not worried about the Svein identity. There are so few of us left.
Alright, do you really want to test your strength against a
Not on
god?
my own, of course. I need your help. From what I understand, the fight has to take place in 2 realms. And I already know you can walk that unrealm of the hunt, as Glerna calls it. You'll kill the Stagfather in that realm, and my people and I will take care of whatever appears on this side. We need to break free from this curse once and for all. It won't. I won't lie. Your fight will be the toughest. Let me know when you're ready.
Alright, so now we get to go back up the hill to the old lady. JK says furnished rentals here are mostly owner going overseas, basically house sitting. Okay. I have a feeling this fight is going to be one long arrow sponge.
I've been waiting for you. Go.
In any case, I would say I know it's a money issue, but I would urge everybody, if you can, find a way to purchase a small plot of land. Even if you don't plan on doing animals with it. Like, the plot of land will always go up in value. Always. So it's an end times investment. And don't know, it depends on the regulations in your area. But a tiny home, generally speaking, tiny homes can be built for or purchased for anywhere from like $5,000 to $15,000 on the low end. Like, there are people who have gotten super creative with things. There's a couple, so I don't know what they would be called in other countries like the UK or the European Union or Australia, but we call them sheds. So like there's these home improvement stores that you can go to in like the US, North America, Canada, Mexico. Like Home Depot is an example, or Lowe's, or a couple of names. But you go there and you can buy these sheds that are like pre-manufactured, and you just assemble them together. And they're not meant to withstand, hurricanes or anything like that. But if you live in a place where the weather is relatively stable, you can buy these pre-manufactured sheds, and I have seen people do this. And then you opt for one of the ones that's as durable as you can afford, and then you put it all together, and then you just figure it out, and you just make it work. You put your bed in the corner, and you get a little portable air conditioner unit. Um, but the problem is always going to be septic, drainage, plumbing, and electric. Those are the big things, and those are tied into the city grid. And there are zoning laws, depending on where you live, for the restrictions on those things and how those things have to be set up. And those rules you have to follow no matter where you live, because it's the government. Like, you don't, unless you're going to buy a piece of land off of the middle of nowhere and live completely off the grid, meaning you're not using city electric, you're not using city sewage, city water, you're off on your own electrical grid with solar power, you've dug your own well, like that's different. No, I never finished Expedition 33, and I won't. Queen Blue Flame. They never patched story mode, and they didn't sound like they were ever going to, so I moved on.
By what right do you tread in my realm, blasphemer?
Oh, do I have to, like, make a jump here? Oh, he's coming for me now. Don't let him get close. I don't know what he does. Oh, wrong arrows. Wrong arrows. Don't waste your cold arrows on him. How did that miss? Fuck, I'm stuck. Oh, he just regen. That's why he wasn't doing anything. Oh no. Fuck you, of course. Oh no. I'm stuck against something. Oh no. Oh no, I'm stuck. I'm stuck. Oh, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. Run. And I'm on my fire arrows by accident. No! Get out of the way. Man, I tell you what, each one of those guys has a separate cast time. And if you can't see them casting... No, there's no rain of arrows. No, no. So if you can't see... If you can't see who's casting, you have no idea if there's a spell being cast on you. So now I understand why he wasn't doing anything the first 30 minutes of that fight. 30 minutes, whatever. First few minutes of that fight, he was just wandering around taking damage because he was waiting for me to use all my arrows and then be like, ah, fuck you. Well, if he's gonna do that,